Every time I think I'm done talking about this coming election and the whole fiasco because I burnt myself on the campaign, I then stumble into stories that make me want to speak up, and it's so aggravating, but here we go again with another Politico rant. Okay, so I know in the news right now it's all about the DNC leak, and everybody is flabbergasted and shocked and awed by the fact that the DNC as an entire collective was working against Bernie Sanders. Although along the way I had been making videos and tweeting and pointing out things to people around me about how it was being done right in front of our face. So I guess I'm just more in shock of people being in shock that the DNC leaks are proving that the campaign was always against Bernie and that he wasn't given a fair shot with the coin tosses and the cards to see who was going first, and then not allowing people to vote in Arizona and New York because of polling places being closed and voter identification and registration shit. All of this stuff was a fiasco. I mean, this was all to make sure Hillary Clinton was given the White House. Like, I've been saying this for a fucking year now. So sorry if I come off aggravated, but I really am. Like, I'm so sad to see a country being duped when you're like aware of it happening and you're like screaming from the rooftops, but nobody's listening because they're like, who is that? He has 2 followers. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just that mind-numbing to live in a world where people get stuck in a mindset where they cannot reach beyond what they're spoon-fed because it makes them uncomfortable. But it's beyond that because they don't even know that's an option. Like, I've gotten in the conversation before where people see the world in numerical ideologies a lot of the time. Like, it's you see it with one view, or you see it binary with male, female, positive, negative, or you see it as a trinity. 3 is usually religious or spiritual stuff like Father, Son, Holy Ghost. Or there's 4s like in seasons, fall, winter, spring, summer. There's numerical ideologies on how people see things, and when you're given that structure, it's hard for you to figure out that there can be other realities. That doesn't need to be how you align yourself. Like, if you were never taught the seasons and you never saw the earth or weather in your area go through seasons, and some places around the world don't even have all 4 seasons, so what if you grew up in one climate? I'm just saying you wouldn't know that perspective of ideology, and I wonder if we just have been forced to think Democrat, Republican for so long that we've not been able to think, that's not how it needs to be. We don't need to just follow like sheep these 2 groups of elite people run by corporations. We can think independently. I do think it's really cool that a lot of people are trying to reach out now, although last minute, because a lot of us have been screaming Jill Stein's name for a year. But I think it's cool to see a lot of people putting support behind Jill Stein, and then there's an independent on the Republican side, but I don't care, because my point with this video is how through this last year and through me feeling duped, this is just my feeling and opinion, but through me feeling duped by Bernie Sanders and his campaign and his promises, because I threw all of my weight of support behind him, because before that I had been staunch Russell Brand's ideology of not voting, and now I understand what happened to him back in the UK just a year previous to all this fiasco, when he was saying don't vote, and then he was like, oh my god, vote for this guy because if the other guy gets in, it's crazy. And now I'm seeing what they're doing. They're giving us options that make things seem like, oh my god, you have to do it our way. Like right now, I believe that the only leg that Hillary can stand on is you have to make sure that Trump does not get into office. I will agree he's a fascist, and he's a racist, and he's sexist, and he's all the ists, and he's all the isms. He's not smart, and he's not presidential at all, and I would never vote for him. However, as we're all trying to figure out this game of what the fuck is being sold to us, I think that's the thing people need to realize. You do not have to vote for Hillary to keep Trump out of office. We have other options. We the people can demand a re-fucking-do. Be like, we will not vote for either candidate because we did not choose either candidate. They were chosen for us. They're being spoon-fed to us. Hillary is going to become president whether you vote for her or not. If the people realize it too soon and start revolting and demand a change and don't want Hillary in office, I would put a lot of my weight into thinking martial law would go into effect in America. I think they're trying to make it seem like the people have some power, even though we're all seeing right in front of our face that the vote, your vote, come November 8th, your vote means shit. You are not voting for the political figure that it will hold office come January. I think Bernie Sanders has been in on it, at least now, but probably since the beginning. I think he was another pawn. I said this in a video not too long ago. I feel like I was duped because I think that he was given to us as the Trump of the left. So I think that he was given to us, kept on media silence, started a grassroots campaign, didn't have a bad voting record, actually has a really pretty good voting record, and was able to be affiliated with the people rather than corporation. And I think that was key in a selection process, what have you, and I think it was given to us in a way that free-thinking people or people trying to see beyond the system were duped. And I think it happened to Russell Brand over in the UK, and I think it's going to happen globally. I think we're all being duped, and it's sad. It hurts a lot to think that I was duped by Bernie. I think my confirmation of that happening came from a video that circulated recently. It's the video where Bernie Sanders' wife comes up on stage and whispers in his ear that people don't know that he will still be on the nomination, something he never told the people as he was being booed for showing support for Hillary Clinton and hoping that his supporters would do the same, follow suit. And I applaud the people who booed. I applaud the people who stand in their convictions. I hope they wake up and see that Bernie Sanders was in fact a fraud. I do believe that's what's being sold to us. I think that it was this ideology, and I think the message was fantastic, and I think it ignited passion in a lot of people who didn't have it. However, I think it was manifested and manufactured in a way that acted almost as a steam release valve to allow enraged Americans to get this energy out, just like Trump did for the enraged Republican side. Just this energy of, I'm not being heard, I need somebody to listen. But it was this sounding board that was never going to be reflected. And this is just conversation, and if you still believe in Bernie Sanders, please by all means. But this is, I'm not making videos to convince anyone. I'm making videos to talk my way through the world I think my mind is experiencing. I swear to God, I can't keep up with y'all. I can't make sure you understand what I'm talking about anymore because I'm not on your same road. I'm not on the path. I'm not in your reality. I cannot explain to you the stuff I'm learning and putting it together with facts and truth and reality I'm experiencing, and trying to explain it so you are convinced it's not possible. I no longer care if you believe the same way I do, if you feel the same way I do about things. I'm just putting my message out there. These opinions, take them as you will, do what you want. Like, I no longer, I just can't, because hearing people back up these candidates is lunacy. And then, like, I'm constantly given the arguments, well, if you don't vote, you're wasting your vote. Well, actually, does that make sense to you? In what game are you told that if you don't participate, you lose? No, that's not how games work. I'm not saying I'm not voting because I don't know who to vote for. I'm saying I'm not voting because the politicians and the political fucking engine that runs this country, the facade, the mainstream media fucking empire, this whole thing, it's connected, and we, the people, need to show them that we see through it. It's fake. So us not voting would be us putting our foot down and saying, we see you, we see through this. And I think once that happens, will it be safe, hunky-dory? Probably not, okay? Like, that's, I think, the truth is scary, and facing it is hard, and if it was easy, everybody would do it, but you see everybody doing the easy thing, which is to shut up and blindly go forward. So, like, why is it taking everybody so much convincing? I mean, Trump, not a good guy. Hillary, evil. So don't vote for either one. I don't like when people say vote for the lesser of two evils. That doesn't make sense to me. Don't attach your name to that. Like, that's silliness. Talk to the people in your community. Nobody wants to vote for either of these two people. I guarantee you. They're voting that way for feeling backed into a corner. Like, seriously, everybody who's voting Trump, but they have their reasons. And everybody voting Hillary, whoa, that's like even worse than if you're voting for Trump, because the sad fact of it all, if you're voting for Hillary, you don't know her record. You don't know her record. You haven't looked up her history. She's a fucking liar. She's corrupt, and she has blood money on her hands. We've discussed it many times. But seriously, I can't do this debating anymore. Look up the video with Bernie Sanders and his wife having that conversation when the mic was still hot about how his name will still be on nomination. He's not talking about it. He's still showing support for Hillary Clinton after the DNC leaks that proved everything myself and others had been talking about for a year now, on how the DNC was completely blindsiding Bernie's campaign and his supporters, and how Debbie Wasserman Schultz was completely ignoring him, and when forced to speak on Bernie Sanders, she would give a middle of the road statement that was already prepared but never in fact about the issue at hand. And the voter fraud that went on throughout this entire fucking campaign process, it's been awful to watch. It's an experience that's completely eye-opening. I hope that people watching this video are taking the time to see the flaws and the holes in this past year, this facade, and connect it to other things. Know that these politics and these shenanigans are connected globally. What's happening here is also happening in Russia, it's happening in China, it's happening in the Middle East. Know that. Know that the United States of America is causing and perpetuating a lot of it, okay? Know that war and money are the cause of all of this, and what you strive to earn so much of every day, minute, year, fucking whatever, your whole life is based around the dollar, so is theirs. And until we realize that money is not life, and money is not happiness, and the whole reason we as a human species was not to chase paper, it was to do something, to create, to ignite a passion and a fever to want to keep our species alive. I mean, we're going extinct, and it's what some powers of the elite want to happen, whether you believe it or not. There's maniacal people in this world, and some of them happen to have trillions of fucking dollars. So just imagine. I don't know why this is so hard for people. It really, really is. And I truly, like, I'm learning. I'm a really angry kid trying to put childish things away and become a thoughtful man. And you can laugh that off if you want, and if you know me, you probably are, because it's hard to believe somebody like myself is saying these things. But until you realize that we're here for a different fucking reason, and kids are growing up right now watching this clown show on TV, and I think I'm disgusted by it, and I'm still a kid at heart. Like, this is just weird. It's weird people are okay with this. It's weird people are not screaming and demanding better, and it's weird people are feeding it by watching it, by voting, by participating. This is all a corporate-run puppet show, people. Donald Trump, Hillary Clinton, they're just puppets. The real evil people behind them are the ones you're electing if you vote those names. Don't do it. Look up independent people. Think about not voting. Look into what that truly means by holding your vote back, because you have the right to vote, but you also have the right not to. And by not voting, that is not you suppressing your voice, and that is not you laying down a white flag. That is you demanding better. Know that. Stand by that. Tell others that. And when they challenge you, know that their argument has an endpoint, yours does not. Yours is for truth and justice, and you want better. They want a candidate. That's where theirs ends. Point blank. Anyway, take care of yourself for the rest of the day. Look into this shit. It's crazy. But I'm going to have other, better, more interesting videos coming up this week. Enough politics. It's stupid. I'm over it. I can't even begin to even. Peace out. Love you.